You're making a critical mistake while building your AI agents that is demolishing their performance. I tracked every single change I made across 106 commits for my AI agents. I realized I was giving my AI agents feedback like a bad manager, and their performance got worse. And the moment I switched this and I provided positive feedback, they got a lot better. And I can prove it to you. And that's why in this video, I'm going to cover 3 things. What negative feedback does to your AI agents and how they behave exactly like humans, the one shift that changed everything, and the cheat code and why managing these agents are actually a lot easier than managing humans. Let's talk about the bad manager phase with a real example so you really understand this. I was building a thumbnail skill for my AI agent, and this is quite a complex skill. I did it across multiple days, 6 major revisions, and as it is quite creative, it is very difficult to nail it on this specific output. What I did early on was in every review session, I gave it feedback like, "This doesn't look like me." "Oh, you messed up again." "Why is the text all messed up?" I would then open the prompt it had and I would question every single line individually. And guess what the agent did in that scenario? It played defensive. When it generated formulaic templates like a person, icon, and text, where it was safe and boring, I told it no more text like this. And the agent overcorrected it to avoid all text in future thumbnails, even when the text was the right call. Or it created a black and white thumbnail, which I told it doesn't match the concept for my video. I don't like it. So it collected the memory that monochromatic thumbnails equals something I don't like. And that legitimately killed a good creative decision if the concept was right. And this cycle kept going on until I realized what the agent is actually doing. The agent is doing everything it possibly can through all of its learnings to avoid getting criticized, to avoid getting in trouble. And think about it, it was the same behavior a junior employee would demonstrate if they had a bad manager. They would stop taking risks, they would play it safe, and do the bare minimum the manager wants just so they're not getting called out. And that was the moment it clicked for me. I kept saying the image doesn't look like me, but I never explained what I actually look like. I just assumed the agent can figure it out. That was similar to telling an employee their report is wrong without actually explaining which parts are wrong and what good looks like. So I stopped being frustrated at the fact that the AI can't figure it out itself, even though this is one of the best and strongest models out there. And I started taking responsibility and changed my approach. I stopped saying you messed up and I started operationalizing every single thing that I wanted. I pulled 56 of my own headshots. I built a script that labels them and creates an index file for exactly what they are and what expressions I have and what even is the lighting in them. I defined a consensus feature so all the agents can actually agree on exactly what I look like and what features make me stand out, like my bald head. I created an eval so that the agent knows how it has produced a good positive result versus what to just miss. And I started positively reinforcing it in the good things that it did versus the negative things that it did. I never only focused on this is not what I want, but I more focused on this is what I actually liked about the thumbnail. And the crazy part is that this skill just got better and better the more I used it. I mean, just see for yourself. Here in the learnings.md, you can see all of the positive feedback that my AI has accumulated over this time. And if you look at the outputs, the original thumbnails were all boring and not aesthetic at all. But then the more I used it, the better it became. You can still see some of these thumbnails at the start, they didn't look like me. Even some of them got the wrong text. But by positively reinforcing it in the things that it did right versus the things that it did wrong, I managed to get closer and closer to the way I actually look. I mean, as you can see, it got better and more creative. It started doing things that I didn't even expect. But don't get me wrong, it still got some things wrong. But when it did, I positively reinforced what it got right and I told it what it got wrong without leading with the negative feedback first. And as you can see, in the next try, it fixed it. It created some of the best realistic thumbnails I have ever seen of myself. They're aesthetic, they're smart, and even started getting environments, text, and body features correct. And if you clicked on this video and you're watching until now, it means that it worked. And once I saw this and realized it in this skill and agent, I couldn't unsee it. The exact same pattern showed up in every single project I had. Every single agent performed better when they were given positive feedback. That made me go even deeper into the rabbit hole. There were two evidence points that made this even clearer for me. First, I did a bit of research. AI and language models are trained on human knowledge and human data. In fact, even in post-training, there are humans that sit there, say what good looks like versus what bad looks like. So it is only logical that they understand human writing and human feedback patterns as their core way of working. That's why they respond to the exact same management dynamics as humans do. And the truth is, you don't get excellence from fear, you only get compliance. But positive feedback teaches the agent and the human what good looks like, what to target for. And if you think about it to your past and the managers you've had, the best managers weren't the ones that were micromanaging you and always telling you what was wrong. They were the ones that told you what good looks like, or even better, showed you what good looks like by their own behaviors. And that gave you something to aim at and model them so that you can become better. And that is exactly what is happening with these agents. And that brings me nicely to the cheat code and why it is actually easier to train these agents than humans. Humans have their own incentives, but these agents, they're all literally only focused on pleasing you and following your instructions. With humans, the way you give the feedback also matters, but with agents, it doesn't that much. You just need to be directionally correct. And the agents are becoming so good that over time, our prompts and instructions towards them are only going to become smaller and smaller. So it is very important that those small set of instructions that you're providing are positive instead of negative. And the razor here to help you really become better at this is to think of your agents not as machines, not as AI, but as actual team members in your team that are trying to help you get your goals. If you care about them and you positively reinforce them, they become better and help you get your outcomes as well. So here's what I would do if I was you. If you're actively building these agents and you want to know how I built my aesthetic thumbnails repo, you can actually click the first link down below and join my newsletter. On that page, you can also download the aesthetic thumbnails GitHub repo completely for free. In fact, I made it so easy that all you have to do is to open it, go to the quick start guide, and put it into your own agent. I've used Cloud Code or Cowork, it works for both of them, but you can also put it anywhere else that you can have access to files and execute Python files. And if you enjoyed this, I'm going all in on AI and rebuilding my entire operations agency to be AI native. And if you want to see more videos, make sure to subscribe. See ya.